for those not familiar with you yet?
Yeah, I think I'm a big 200-foot scorer. He plays a lot of skill, confidence, and pace. I think I'm really good at transporting the puck up and down the ice, and I play with a lot of hockey IQ. So I think that would describe me best as a player.
Is there an NHL player you look up to, try to model your game after?
Yeah, I would. At the NHL level, I would compare myself to Tage Thompson, but I'm trying to emulate some things out of Matthew Knies' game. He's got a similar frame to mine, and just the way he uses his body in net front scenarios and puck battles.
How do you feel your hockey IQ kind of manifests or shows itself in your game?
Yeah, I think my off puck routes coming into the zone, the routes I take with the puck, the way I utilize my teammates, and just the way I time things. I think those are all great things that show my hockey IQ off.
What do you like about Tage's game that you try to emulate exactly?
Yeah, I think we got similar frames with very similar skill sets, and the way he gets open for pucks and he uses his reach to protect the puck and really uses his body of his. I see a lot of those in my game, I think.
What was one of the most common questions you got asked in your interviews, and how many teams did you interview with?
Yeah, I interviewed with 25 teams this week, so it was a fair amount. And there's some question marks about the consistent compete, and they're reasonable question marks. I think right now, I was kind of picking spots when to and where to, and I think I just need to be a little bit more consistent on making it a 100% thing all the time. And I know I'm gonna change that, and it's just whether or not the team that drafts me believes in me or not.
How do you think playing on a team that struggled a little bit or was a bit, had difficulty competing, was that an adjustment for you? What did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, I think it rose my compete level. I think I learned how to flip the page really easily this year, and I learned how to be a leader. I think a rebuilding team, it was a new experience for me, but I enjoyed it a lot, and it was kind of a role model day to day for the younger kids on that team.
You played center when you were younger. Do you have any interest in doing that in the future?
Yeah, I think there's always interest, but I've been playing winger for a while now, and really I'm open to both. But I think at the NHL level, I see myself as a winger.
When did you have your growth spurt?
I was probably 14, 15 years old. I grew about 4 inches, and during that COVID year, so that was really big for me.
What parts of your game are you working on the most, would you say?
Yeah, I would just say, showing up every night and, using my body more efficiently, not reaching for pucks, getting a good body position on the guy, and really battling and having that maybe a little bit nastiness in the net front, and those board battles. You watch playoff hockey, and that's what wins hockey games. And I know I need to add that to my resume.
Why do you feel it was understandable for your consistency and compete to be questioned by the teams? Why were you expecting that? Why would you?
Yeah, I think I was expecting a little bit because during my meetings throughout the year, I think it was still something that was brought up, and I know it's something I need to improve. I watch my games back, and I definitely see parts of the game that I need to clean up, and I'm working with the sports psych right now to help me clean that up and stay consistent through that. But at the end of the day, I think compete is a choice, and right now I'm picking my spots to do it, and I just need to make it an all-time thing.
How's the sports psych helping you with that?
Yeah, kind of just creating a consistent routine. If you stick to your routine consistently over time, the process is what's going to make consistent results, I think, and everything's going to come together over time.
What was growth for you this past season? Because you did put up some of your best personal numbers. So what worked, I guess?
Yeah, I think I was just playing with a lot of confidence, and I think you look at the year before. I was kind of a middle six guy on a championship team, and a couple months later everyone's gone, and now you're kind of the guy. So I always think I had it in me, but I think that just adds to my versatility. I think I could really play in that top line from first line to third line, and I can play any role. So I think that's kind of just what changed this year.
What did you learn from the guys from that championship team, the Matejchuks, the Gagers, the Savoys, just about navigating this whole process leading up to the draft?
Yeah, I think you really have to, buy in, and don't worry about all the outside noise. I think at the end of the day, the production's going to come if you're doing the right things, and I think it's a long process, but it's going to come with time. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter exactly where you go; it's kind of what you do with it. And obviously, I'm excited for the draft, and I'm really looking forward to it. And whatever team drafts me, I just want to go to camp and prove a point.
Did you face Josh Ravensburg in this year, the Prince George goalie?
I did, yes.
What do you make of his game?
Yeah, I think he's a really calm, cool, collected goalie. He's big, and I think he plays his depth well, and he's a confident goalie who he moves really well for his size. And Josh, he's one of the top goalie prospects, if not the top, and he's going to get drafted this year. He's going to have one hell of a career.
How would he rank among the goalies you faced in your life?
He's definitely up there. I don't want to say one, but he's definitely in the top 5, I would say for sure.